Hello there, friends. Welcome to Adventures in Food with Howard. There are few aromas that are as comforting as a chicken roasting in the oven. Perfectly seasoned and roasted chicken is easily achieved in your home oven. It doesn't take any fancy equipment or expensive gadgets to get a fantastic result. All you need is a whole chicken, a sharp knife, some strong kitchen shears, a roasting pan, and some spices. Come along with me while I show you how I season and roast a chicken. This recipe couldn't be easier. Besides the chicken, the other ingredients that you will need for this recipe are 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil or melted butter, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then 1 teaspoon each of black pepper, smoked paprika, ground cumin, coriander, garlic powder, and onion powder. The unusual ingredients in this dry rub are the cumin and the coriander. They add a warm, citrusy note that gives the chicken a deliciously unusual and interesting taste. The first thing I usually do is to measure out all my spices into a small bowl. The next thing you'll want to do is to turn your attention to the chicken. If you've ever roasted a chicken and the white meat was overcooked or the legs were undercooked, it's because the shape of a chicken works against even cooking. Try my method of opening up the chicken, and I think you'll find that you get perfect results every time, even if you are a novice cook. Remove any extra chicken parts that have been placed in the chicken cavity, things like the chicken neck, the liver, the heart, or the giblet. Turn your chicken over so that it is breast side down, and using some kitchen shears, start cutting next to the tail along the small backbones. It does require some hand strength to cut through these bones, so if you have delicate hands without much strength, you might want to try to find someone with some muscles to do this part of the job. Once you have cut through one side of the back, do the same thing along the other side of the tail up along the back. This method of removing the backbone so that the chicken can open up like a book is called spatchcock or spatchcocking. Make sure that you save the backbone and any parts removed from the cavity of the bird for stock. This is optional, but you can also remove the wishbone. It's not that difficult to do, and it does make carving the breast meat that much easier. To remove the wishbone, get a sharp knife and cut along each side of the wishbone, and you should be able to wiggle it out of the breast meat. You'll want to remove the wishbone whole, but don't be surprised if it breaks. That sometimes happens. Using your hands, open the chicken up like a book, and then flip the chicken over so that it is skin side up. If it's necessary, tidy up the chicken and make sure that the chicken is flat against the board and generally is looking the way you want it to. At this point, you can also tuck the wingtips behind the chicken as I've demonstrated. Flip the chicken over once more, and then you can begin seasoning the underside of the bird with the spice blend you just made. Once the underside of the chicken is nicely coated with the dry rub, you can turn it over. Before seasoning the skin of the chicken, you'll want to take 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil and rub the oil into the chicken skin. You should be using enough oil that the skin shines and that the spices will be able to stick to the skin. I like to say use enough oil so that the chicken smiles at you. You can now sprinkle the remaining spice blend evenly over the chicken skin. Another option that you can do is to loosen the skin over the breast meat and the thigh meat and work the spice blend in with some oil and rub it into the meat between the breast meat and the skin and the thigh meat and the skin. It'll give a wonderful flavor, but it's really not necessary. I find that it's just as good just to season the skin. But the option is there if that's what you choose to do. The chicken is now ready for the oven, so place the chicken onto a roasting pan or sheet pan and cover the chicken lightly with aluminum foil or parchment paper. Place the chicken into a 350-degree oven to roast for approximately 1 hour 15 minutes. Make sure to baste the chicken every 20 minutes or so. And basting just means to take the accumulated chicken juices and fat in the bottom of the pan and pour them over the bird. This helps the chicken meat to stay moist and to help brown the chicken skin. After about 40 minutes in the oven, you will want to remove the aluminum foil so that the chicken skin can get brown and crispy. After cooking for another hour and 15 minutes, take the temperature of the bird. The temperature should read no less than 155 degrees Fahrenheit, keeping in mind that the temperature will continue to rise 5 to 10 degrees as the chicken rests. If the temperature of the chicken is less than 155 degrees, put the chicken back in the oven for an additional 5 to 10 minutes, just until the temperature comes up to somewhere between 155 degrees and 160 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature of the chicken is between 155 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit, remove the chicken from the oven and allow the chicken to rest 10 to 15 minutes, making sure to tent the chicken with foil. After letting the chicken rest for 15 minutes, you should have something that looks like this. Generally, when carving the chicken, I remove the legs first, separating the leg from the thigh, and then I remove the wings, cutting the wings at the joint where the wing meets the breast. If you have removed the wishbone, then it will be very easy to remove slices of the breast meat using a sharp carving knife. Enjoy your favorite side dishes like mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese. If you decide to try this recipe, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. And if you enjoy this video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching Adventures in Food with Howard, and I hope